me now to introduce our chief guest this year, who is a dear friend, not just of myself as Catherine, but who is a dear friend of the network, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Correctional Services, Mrs. Zeinab Hussein. Zeinab has over 20 years working experience, both in private and public sectors. And prior to joining the public service, she held various senior leadership roles in McKinsey. I'm sure many of you have heard about McKinsey. And Madam Zeinab has told me that people have asked her, why did she leave McKinsey to join public service? And her answer has always been, I need to make an impact. I need to challenge myself. I need to make it work. People have said public service doesn't work. I want to prove that it works. So she has worked previously in Johannesburg, in Lagos, and in their Nairobi offices. Her work at McKinsey as a consultant saw her transform and reform various sectors, ranging from national oil companies to large banks, mergers of telecommunication giants across West Africa, where she was based for some time. But prior to joining McKinsey, the PS held various senior roles at Shell Africa, including as internal auditor for the Shell Africa Group, which was made up of 26 countries across Africa. And she was in charge of the internal audit team of those 26 countries. She was aviation manager for both Shell Aviation East Africa and West Africa as well. And she also served as a member of the management teams of Kenya Shell, Shell Ghana, and Shell Aviation. So great experience there. If you add that experience to her experience in the public service, you have an all-rounder. In the public sector, Zeinab has served as Principal Secretary for the Departments for Gender, Irrigation, Post-Training and Skills Development, and currently she is the Principal Secretary for the Department of Correctional Services in the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government. And so, as I said earlier, she has a full plate. You know what has been going on, but she's taking a day at a time and taking it in her stride and saying it will happen. Zeinab holds a master's in public administration from the Harvard Kennedy School, Harvard University. She's also a holder of a master's degree in public policy as a Mason Fellow from the same university. Leading the pack from Africa, she was recognized as a leading light, as a leading scholar from Africa at the Harvard University. And she holds an MBA from the University of Nairobi. And so we couldn't have gotten a better guest to speak to us than Madam Zeinab Hussein. It is my singular pleasure, Zeinab, to invite you to open our conference for us. Thank you very much, and do enjoy the conference.
Thank you very much, my dear friend, Catherine, who is a chairperson of the Women on Boards Network, and who is a very, very dear friend of many, many years. I want to recognize Catherine. I also want to recognize your board members who are with us here today, and also recognize your secretariat who continue to do an amazing job for the Women on Boards Network. Allow me to also greet all the ladies and gentlemen on our call today. Good morning, everybody. Let me first of all say that it is with great pleasure that I join you on this 8th Annual Women on Board Network Conference. I want to extend my gratitude to you, Catherine, and your board members for organizing this conference. I also want to say I'm a big proponent of gender diversity because in my previous roles as PS Gender, and also in my previous roles as a consultant at McKinsey, I saw firsthand the impact of having gender diversity on boards. There is a quality of problem solving and solution building that women bring to the table that is unique to that gender. I also want to recognize the efforts of our government, as Catherine, you have stipulated, in promoting women on boards. And I think there's been a concerted effort by the government in the last several years under the leadership of His Excellency the President to include as many women across a diverse range of ages on boards. And we've seen serious impact. I think the most recent on our minds being the transformation that's going on at the Kenya Power and Lighting Company under the leadership of Miss Vivian. So you can see that the government has a lot of faith and trust in the leadership of women. And we queue up behind His Excellency the President on that agenda. Let me also thank you, Catherine, and your team for choosing this year's theme, which, if I'm not wrong, is expanding your horizons. This theme happens to be the central theme for this year's conference. And indeed, we are designed for expansion. If you look at life itself, life is designed for expansion. The universe is forever expanding. Life expands daily. And I think if you look around you, you'll notice that life is designed for expansion. When we do not expand, we stagnate, we contract, and each of these states of stagnation and contraction spell doom and difficulty in our personal lives, for they go against the very nature of life, which is growth and expansion. And for as long as we have life in us, and as long as we have breath in us, it is in our nature to seek and to want to expand and to seek and to want to grow. Therefore, Catherine and your board members and everybody on this call, it is natural for us to seek growth. It is normal and okay for us to seek to expand and grow beyond our current confines. And therefore, I'm thankful that I get a chance to speak to this topic of expanding our horizons, expanding and occupying more space than we are occupying at the moment. I also want to say before I start that I'm honored to be among such inspiring and a dedicated group of women who are committed to their personal growth and development in order to bring the very best versions of themselves to the table. It's really exciting to be here with you today. Now, many other times, ladies and gentlemen, that we assume expansion must be only in one or two areas of our lives. Maybe your career, maybe your family, maybe your health. But let me be the bearer of some difficult news. And the news is that we must expand in all aspects of our lives. And we must always strive to expand as the whole of us, not only as part of ourselves. If you expand in only some aspects of yourself, then the parts of you that you're neglecting are going to hold back the very parts of you that are expanding. And so today I want us to consider that expansion speaks to all aspects of our lives. And there are very many buckets we could put into various aspects of our lives. But I consider 5. And the first one I consider is myself, you. Before you're an employee, before you're a mother, before you're a wife, before you're a woman, there's you, the essence of you, that requires nurturing, caring, growth, and expansion. There is the larger aspect of you that includes your relationships, your family, nuclear, extended, whatever it is that you consider you and the relationships around you. Then there is, of course, you and what you do, you and your career, you and your purpose, you and why you're here. Again, an area that needs expansion and growth. And lastly, you and your spiritual development. And let's not forget also relationships with your community. Before we can expand our horizons, if we look at the theme, expand your horizons. Before we use the statement, expand our horizons, we have already made the assumption that A, we are currently not within our expanded horizon. That means we currently recognize and acknowledge that we have room for growth. It means that we acknowledge and accept that we can be more than we are today. That's a good thing, because it's important to know and accept that where we are currently, we are living in some sort of limitation or constraint that we need to break and grow further to expand our horizons. We must also, by using the very same sentence, expand our horizons, be in a position where we are accepting that there are invisible limits, boundaries, or constraints that are defining our current space that are stopping us from expanding our horizon. And so those are the two things that I want to speak to today. A, the fact that we acknowledge and recognize that where we are today, we can do more, we can do better, we can grow more, we can do greater things than we are at the moment. And two, that the very fact that we want to expand means that we have some sort of limits, boundaries, constraints that are holding us back. Anton St. Martin said, to expand the horizons of your utmost destiny, you have to venture beyond the confines of your fear, doubt, and negativity. We are all products of our culture, of our schooling, our beliefs, and our programs. We have been brought up in some form of culture. There are some programs and beliefs that are running our lives today. And in most cases than not, some of these beliefs propel us forward, and some of these beliefs actually hold us back. Some of these beliefs become boundaries, constraints, and restraints to our growth. And some of these beliefs are freeing and allow us to become great. We must therefore, at some point in our lives, in order to expand ourselves, we must challenge and confront the programs, the invisible boundaries, and the constraints and the restraints that define our current horizons. This confrontation will reveal and shock us that we have boundaries that we didn't even know existed. And these boundaries have kept us in a safe space, in a place where we don't challenge ourselves, in a place whereby we are comfortable, in a place whereby we take small steps towards greatness instead of taking that giant leap of faith that we need to take in order to have a radical transformation. I'm going to share with you a few tips which I think might be helpful to you to begin to feel very uncomfortable with where you are, to begin feeling restrained and constrained, and want to yearn for more and go for more. And one of the first tips that I want to share with you today is start saying yes. Start saying yes to life. Start saying yes to the opportunities that come around. Say yes to that internship that pays you nothing. Say yes to that volunteer assignment which your colleagues don't want to do. Say yes to spending a little bit more time learning a new skill. Say yes to helping out even when there's nothing in it for you. Say yes to going the extra mile. Start saying yes to those engagements that are out of your comfort zone. And after saying yes several times, what you're going to start hearing back is yes to you. And when the yes to you starts to happen, you will begin to expand. The more you say yes to things that are uncomfortable, to things that you're not familiar with, you're going to expand your skill sets, you will expand your networks, and you will expand your responsibilities beyond what you thought was imaginable. Now, our brain is a very interesting, or the mind is a very interesting tool, and I will speak about the mind later on. But the mind is designed to keep you safe. And because we receive millions and millions of signals through our senses every day, your mind learns how to program responses and to program your response. So if you had a particular response about a particular event in the past, the brain files that. This is how Zeinab reacts to X. And every time an event X shows up in your life, it's no longer you responding, it's your mind responding. So we've got to pause. And so the brain likes what is familiar. So if you made a very simple thing like exercising familiar, then your body, your mind works for you and allows you to enjoy that. But if exercising is unfamiliar to you, then it becomes an uphill task. So by saying yes to things you haven't done before, you are rewiring your brain networks so that you start making what is unfamiliar familiar. Your current behaviors, actions, thoughts, and habits are all familiar patterns you've developed over time. So you must begin to make new habits familiar and make the old redundant habits unfamiliar. And that's why you have to begin saying yes repetitively so that your brain starts to rewire you for different outcomes. So tip number one, start saying yes to life and saying yes to any opportunity that gives you a chance to grow. Even those that don't give you a chance to grow, they give you a chance at a new experience. The second thing I would like to share with you today, you must, at all costs, invest in yourself. You must become your number one priority. If you don't prioritize yourself, who will? And investing in yourself is putting your money where your mouth is. We are living in unprecedented times where today, actually, to change your career into a different one is extremely easy because we are living in the era of technological learning. You no longer have to go to a physical classroom to acquire new skill sets. You no longer have to have a 9-to-5 classroom setting to acquire a brand new skill sets. So you need to look at yourself and ask yourself, as I stand here today, what skills will I need next year? What skills do I need 2 years from today? What skills or what job do I want to be doing 5 years from now? And begin to invest in yourself towards that direction. Your spending patterns indicate your priorities. Start to reprioritize how you spend and put a huge chunk of that in investing in yourself. Challenge yourself to learn a new skill every 6 to 12 months. And challenge yourself to be doing a completely different role than you're doing today in the next 12 to 24 months. And then ask yourself, if I want to be doing something completely different in the next 24 months, what must I do today to be able to do that? And in so doing, you expand the opportunities that are available to you because you have acquired different skill sets. So invest and prioritize yourself. As you expand your horizons in the next 12, 24, 36 months, you must be able to see the new you. And the new you will be defined by the goals that you set for yourself. I've heard people say so many times, that goal is unrealistic. That goal is unachievable. That goal is too stretched. But there's no such thing as any unrealistic goal. Goals are made unrealistic by the boundaries you have put on your mind and on yourself. You decide, I can only go this far. And again, we are products of our programming, our upbringing, and how we've been raised to know or to think certain things are not available to us. Certain things are not there for us. But as you set your goals this year to expand your horizons, I want you to imagine, what would you aspire for yourself if you could have, be, or do anything you wanted? If you could have anything, if you could be anything, if you could be anything you wanted, what goals then would you have? Because that is the real you speaking. So stretch those goals. Go for those goals. And again, as I say, the universe will conspire to make you achieve them once you believe in them. Your goals will stretch you. But if they stretch you 100% and you achieve 75%, you have expanded. But don't set goals which are 25% and then you achieve 10. You are not challenging yourself as you should. Surround yourself with people who make you stand on tiptoes because they're so ahead of you. Don't surround yourself with people who make you look down because you're way too ahead of them. Those won't challenge you and they will not stretch you. Get into the habit of stretching yourself and knowing that if you could do, be, or have anything you wanted, that's what you should be going for right now, because you can be and you can do and you can have anything that you want. Our mind can be our greatest ally if we use it correctly. And I want us to start using our mind to work for us. As I said earlier, your mind is designed to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable, and it actually programs and records your responses. And so you might live your entire life responding the same way you responded when you were 18, because you haven't made a conscious effort to be aware and to change some of the programs that you run unconsciously. Your mind can work for you, but it needs direction. Your mind responds to two things only: the pictures and the words that you tell yourself. So if that's what your mind responds to, the pictures and the words that you tell yourself, then isn't it important and critical that we start giving ourselves pictures, images, and words that are empowering, that are positive, that are geared to the who we want to become? We think about 70,000 thoughts a day. Of those 70,000 thoughts, 80% of them are negative, 95% are repetitive. It's what we thought yesterday. Now, if we are thinking what we thought yesterday, today, tomorrow, the day after, and 80% of them are negative, what is our mind responding to? So make it a habit today, now that you have this knowledge, to ensure, A, you stop repetitive negative thoughts. It's exactly where you are right now. And until you transform those thoughts by feeding yourself, by the way, your mind has no concept of past and the future. Your mind only has the concept of now. So whether you're reliving a past trauma, you're experiencing it now, and your body believes you're going through that right now. On the other hand, if you are imagining and bringing a future you that's radically transformed, that's super successful, that's expanded, in the now moment, your brain also believes this is happening now and draws that to you. So instead of disempowering ourselves, thinking negative, repetitive thoughts daily, let's be more aware and use the moment, this moment today, to radically transform how we think, because our thoughts become our words become our actions become our habits, and our habits become our personality. So at the level of thought, we are creating who we are. And we have a powerful tool, which is our mind, under our direction to become more aware, to become more present, and realize, oh gosh, I'm thinking the same thing I was thinking yesterday about how my boss was mean to me, about how I'll never get ahead, instead say, no, this is a new, different me. My boss is supportive. I have people around me who are supportive. I love being a board member, or I love whatever it is that you want to be. Say it now and start training your mind to work for you. Tied to that, in terms of making our mind work for us, is shift your energy completely, because where energy goes, energy grows. So instead of focusing, if you're focusing some 90% energy on preventing failure because you're so afraid of failing, spend that energy convincing yourself how you shall succeed. I'm not saying don't be thoughtful. Be thoughtful, but realize it's best you focus your energy on positive things towards creating what you want to become, rather than avoiding the pain of failure. Now, all these nice things don't come without a price. But it really isn't a price. It's a price because we have been conditioned to believe it's a price. Let me give an example. If you're unhealthy and you have to exercise 3 times a week and you don't like to exercise, is that really a pain? It's a pain to the extent we think it is. But again, if I go back to my previous point, where every morning, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I have to do this exercise again, but instead say, oh, I love to do this exercise. I choose to exercise. I feel good when I exercise. Do that for 21 days. You'll be going to the gym yourself without anyone prompting you. So the pain is not in the doing. The pain is changing how we think about the things that we must do to be able to change. So decide and agree with yourself that you are going to pay the price you need to pay to transform and expand yourself, because expansion would come without pain. Neither is growth. Growth is also not without pain, but it's good pain because it's chiseling you, it's toning you, it's aligning those muscles, it's aligning those neural networks to become the person you must become, to be able to expand. Your life up until this moment has been a series of choices you have made, either consciously or unconsciously, up until this moment. And so to change those habits and behaviors, you didn't develop these habits and behaviors over a year or 2, and you have got to be patient with yourself. They happened over time. So be patient, pay the price, stick with it. In fact, the more you feel the pain, you should be laughing and smiling, because then real change is happening. You are forcing new neural networks, you are forcing new connections. For those of you who exercise, you know that once you lift weights, the following day your muscles will be sore, but that means they have torn, they have repaired, and they're healing better to become the new that you want to become. So embrace the pain, choose to feel the pain, make the pain joyful, enjoy the pain, because see the vision of who you want to become, the new expanded you, and celebrate that and the journey there. I want to speak about a can-do attitude. And you have to move the goals we spoke about. See those stretch goals we spoke about in my earlier notes, where I said you have to stretch yourself. Let's look at those stretched goals and let's have a can-do attitude. And we have to move ourselves from, I really want this, to getting this is non-negotiable. And no matter what, I am gonna do this. And that's the only road to transformation and to expanding yourself. Once you make something non-negotiable, you will do everything you can and everything in your power to get to where it is that you're going. And in some of the areas that have been in my own life that have had significant transformation, I've had to say, this goal is non-negotiable no matter how painful it is to get there. But the thing is, when you eventually get there, people don't see the struggle, people don't see the effort, people don't see the pain behind it. They see the glory. Tiger Woods, if any one of you, there's a documentary on Netflix that's fantastic that shows Tiger's life. But before he made some of the best shots in golfing history, he would take about 1,000 shots from 5 a.m. before his next game. Don't be cheated. Have, no matter what it takes, I will do this. And do what it takes to get the expansion that you're wanting to get. Now, the path for growth, the path for expansion, the path where you challenge yourself is not an easy path. And I want you to give yourselves permission to make mistakes. I want you to give yourselves permission to fail, because no experience is ever wasted. If you succeed, there's a story and the fruits of success. If you fail, there are lessons and the experience from it. So no experience is ever wasted. So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to not get it right the first time. And don't strive for perfection. What you need to strive for is to keep moving forward. The direction should be forward. Even when you fall, get up, dust yourself, stand up and keep walking. That's the most important thing. Give yourself permission to fail. Be kind to yourself. Have compassion for yourself. Because in most cases, we are very, very tough on ourselves, even in ways we're not tough to other people. And as you become kind to you, have more compassion for you, you are going to actually allow yourself the space to grow. If you have health goals and today you didn't succeed, wake up and start again tomorrow. Keep moving forward. And there's some things that I would like you to say to yourself every day as you begin your expansion journey. Every morning, wake up and say, Zeinab, I'm proud of you. We did this and this yesterday. I am so proud of you, because most of the times we are actually wanting to hear praise, validation, and approval from others. Praise, approval, and validation, which we rarely give ourselves. So begin by giving that to yourself every day. I am proud of you. I celebrate you. I forgive you for failing yesterday. And the last sentence you need to say to yourself every day is, I commit to you this. I commit to you that no matter what, we will lose the 50 pounds. I commit to you no matter what, we will get that position we are looking for. I commit to you no matter what, by next year, same time, we will have acquired this skill set. Commit to yourself. We commit more to others than we commit to ourselves. Begin to commit to you, begin to forgive you, begin to be kind to you, and begin to be proud of you. Last but not least, and I always bring this at the end, is because no matter how much we are expanding in both our careers, our family lives, ourselves as individuals, the true essence of us, we must believe and ensure that we're also trusting a power higher than us to help us get to where that it is that we're going. So whatever it is that you believe in, I don't know what you believe in, but do ensure that at the end of the day, you show gratitude and appreciation because you're still breathing and you're still here. And hand over and commit your goals, those stretched goals, to the masters of the universe who are actually capable of transforming your small dreams into a greatness beyond your wildest imaginations. I read a story about Oprah and her life, and she said she really, really, really wanted. And she had gone to see to a friend, and she had noticed the friend had 6 trees outside her kitchen. And she really, really wanted to at least have 6 trees in her compound. And when she had become successful, she once looked outside her kitchen window and she saw 6 trees. But beyond the 6 trees was a whole entire forest. And she said, I saw the 6 trees, the divine saw an entire forest belonging to me. So you have your 6 trees, aim for your 6 trees, but I'm sure if you hand over and commit that dream to higher powers than you, they will turn your 6 trees into an entire forest beyond your wildest imaginations. The very last one, the things you want done for you, you must do for others. I've lived in an environment where it's important that others inspire you and you inspire others. But more importantly is for you as you expand to seek relationships that grow and develop you. And more importantly is to choose role models, mentors, and sponsors that can networks and that can expand and grow your networks. Role models are people you look up to and you say, I want to be like that. Mentors are people you meet once in a while, they talk to you about random stuff. But sponsors, and I know we've had a very negative connotation of that name in our country, but sponsors, and the real meaning of sponsors is people who actually help open doors for you. So you need to seek out all these types of relationships so that you expand your network, you expand your skill set, you also expand just your repertoire of skills as you face yourself and as you face others. All these relationships are important. And all these relationships are both ways. You act in various capacities in these roles. You can become role model, sponsor, and mentor to others. And on the other hand, others will become role models and sponsors and mentors to you. So seek through this relationship and know that what you give comes back to you. Even as you seek these things, give them out. The more you give them out, the more you will actually open spaces for that. Michelangelo said, your greatness is measured by your horizons. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope the tips I've given you will enable you to expand, broaden, and open up your horizons to bring the very best version of you that you came here to be to the table and to every place that you come to, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, or whether it's on a board seat. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow. Madam PS, amazing, amazing. I'm not even going to try and react to that. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I could not have said it any better. Thank you, Madam PS. Wonderful, wonderful lessons. And I'm going to challenge each and everybody who is on this call. If you want to hear more of that, join us on Friday because Madam PS will be speaking again at the awards on Friday. So join us at Movenpick at 12:20 onwards for lunch and for the awards. Thank you so much, Madam PS. Perhaps just so that I respect the, I see people might lynch me outside of this forum if I don't give just one person an opportunity to make a comment or to ask a question of Madam PS. So just one question from any person, just one person. Christine is asking, am I allowed, to meet Madam PS? She has an open door. Christine, it's a challenge you have. Fanis Wangila, Daktari, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Thank you. Look at my face. It's so like, I'm just, what do I say? Madam Zeinab, the PS, you are speaking to me. And I was just telling myself, I need somebody I can be accountable to. Like, what have you done this week? Like, I'm giving back, you know? Today, Madam Catherine, I am actually looking forward to having a campaign on gender-based violence in my university. And it is not easy. And one thing she said, experience, you cannot, like you should not look at failing. And like, you can only learn through experience. I tell you, I have learned. This is my first time to do a campaign and planning for a walk. And I am looking forward to having an achievement. But one thing is very true, Madam Zeinab. I mean, I cannot wait to meet you on Friday. I really want a mentor. I really want to work with women of purpose. And trust me, Catherine, blessings. Go on. You have our backup. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Fanis. I could see from your comments that this has touched you very, very deep, and indeed, it is appreciated. Gladys, you have your hand up. And I know, Gladys, if I don't let you talk, you'll kill me. So since I don't want to die, Gladys, over to you.
Catherine, I can see you value your life, so here I am. Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam PS, for this presentation. I like the way you laid out your points, a great challenge to me in the sense that a lot of those things are comfort zone pushing me out of the comfort zone into a greater area where I'm not comfortable. I have put it on the chat that I would request additional reading material because a lot of the information you have brought up is very deep and would require additional reading. That discussion around the brain and the comfort around the brain and, you know, just how to handle all these comfort zones and how to get out of comfort zones. Do you have additional reading material that you can suggest to us, either a book or, you know, a talk or anything, a TED talk, anything that would help us to just add more information to what you've given us? Thank you.
I know she's a walking encyclopedia. I know she loves to read, so I'll give her a moment to respond.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gladys. Yes, of course. There are some books I can recommend that would help with deepening the information that I've just shared. And I think around the brain and how we keep living yesterday, today, please go to Joe Dispenza. I'll type that on the chat. Joe Dispenza, and the book is Becoming Supernatural. I think you can find this book locally, Becoming Supernatural. Then buy the book, yes, by Shonda Rhimes. If you know Shonda Rhimes, she is the lady behind all the greatest hit shows. She's one of the most influential Black women we have, creates fantastic shows, and she has a book, Saying Yes, by Shonda Rhimes. I think if you look at those two books, you will get a lot of the material that I've spoken about. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Madam PS. I told you, she reads. So if you want more engagements with Madam PS, come on Friday. And I think we should have a hangout after the event. So please come on Friday. We shall have a hangout. We shall chat about all these things. Madam PS, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for emptying yourself to us. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your thoughts. It is always so refreshing listening to you every time. I can't thank you enough. On behalf of the Women on Boards Network, asante sana, and please hang on to the call if you can. I know you're very busy. When you can, please do join us. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you so much.